Greetings everybody, my name is Siakala Masahela, the certified art boy himself, CAB. In this video, I'll be showing you how to draw braids. Well, braids are very difficult but yet interesting to draw. In this case, I'll be showing you from start to finish how a realistic braid would look like and show you the simple shading techniques and also how to draw from start. Today we'll be using my favorite tool that I created myself called the shading scale. Look, I know the shading scale is a bit shady, untidy, ripped and unprofessional, but honestly it is very useful, unique and very special to me because it has helped me in my journey of art. Look, I think that everybody must create the scale for themselves, especially if you have difficulties in choosing the right pencil to shade with. Honestly, for me, it has helped me to determine the light, medium, dark tones of a reference picture that I'm drawing. But I don't know how you feel about that idea. You'll let me know down in the comments below if it's a good idea or not. At this point forward, we'll be then using a blending paper stamp to then blend over the outlines that we created at the beginning. This will then eliminate the outlines being visible and also create a realistic sense once we're done with the blending and all that. After that, I'll be then using a brush to then brush over the outlines that I created at the beginning just to make it look a bit smooth and also just to eliminate any other outlines that are visible at the beginning. this point I'll be then using this pencil to then draw over the zigzag line, and then after use a blending paper stump or a brush to then blend the zigzag line in with the paper to make it look smooth and then look a bit neat and not untidy. Most of the time of the tutorial I was not speaking because I feel like some parts of the tutorial that I was doing, they were very basic. You could understand what I'm doing visually, so there was no reason for me to explain and all that. But if you feel like there were some moments where like you didn't understand and I didn't speak on that part, pause the video, comment down below, maybe for example 5 minutes or 6 minutes 30 seconds, and then comment down what's troubling you, and then I'll answer you down below. And I feel like the parts that I'm going to speak on are the very important parts. That's when you'll hear me speak and all that, because those are the important parts. Those are the parts maybe I feel like you should understand how you should go on about doing that certain part of the drawing, for example. So I feel like everybody, for example, for the shading side, everybody shades differently and it works out differently for everybody. So I will not be explaining much on the shading part, but I would like you to see how I shade and then maybe incorporate what I do into your own thing. You don't have to shade the exact same way I shade, but you could take maybe a few notes and then shade in your own kind of style. That's all I can just say. Sorry for the inconvenience of not speaking most of the time in the tutorial, but I feel that's how I felt at that time. But I feel like you'll be able to understand, and I hope that you'll understand. I'm then going to take my Tombow eraser and then create highlights for the braid that I've drawn, just to create that 3D effect, because if you do not use the Tombow eraser to create these highlights, then the drawing will appear as flat and dull. You wouldn't want that, but it's also essential to make sure that your Tombow eraser is very sharp up front. Not sharp as in like a pencil sharp, but it must be flat. I'll show you with the picture above what do I mean, but it has to be in that manner so that you can create these highlights perfectly, and again to make other loose hairs as you continue with the drawing. And then after that, I use a brush which I previously dabbed inside charcoal powder to then brush over the braid that I've done, to then blend the highlights that I've done, just to create a smooth layer and not make any uneven tones or contrast. And then after that, I then use Tipix to then create my own highlights that are very, very bright white. As you can notice, or as you can see, that I did not use a reference picture. I'm using my own light resource out of my own mind. So if it does not appear as perfect, you'll have to excuse me on that part, because I'm just using my mind to draw this braid right now. So, but yes, you only use the Tipix just to create super bright white highlights. I then use a razor blade to then scratch out the Tipix. For why I do that is just to create a permanent white highlight. Unlike when you use a tomboy eraser to then create a highlight, you can then just use maybe a pencil or a brush and then you blend over it and it disappears. But if you use Tipix, which is more permanent as a highlight, and then you use a brush on top of it or a pencil, it will not fade away. It will just be there and just be white. And then after that, it's an option whereby you can just use a brush to then brush over that layer that you've created with the Tipix, and then it will just blend everything in and look flat. here you go. This is the final product of the realistic braid. It's looking very neat, tidy, professional, and also realistic, if I should say. If you found this video very helpful, please drop a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I'll be dropping such tutorials like this as time goes on. But this is me, Sakala Masela, the certified boy. Catch you next time. Cheers.